For this recipe, you will need bread flour. Make sure it's bread flour and not all-purpose flour. Active dry yeast or instant dry yeast, salt, 1 egg, olive oil, brown sugar, and lukewarm water. You will also need a deep baking pan for water. This is gonna have some water steaming underneath the bread while it bakes. That will give your bread a nice crisp top. A cooling rack and also a baking stone. I found this round pizza baking stone at Walmart, but it works just as good for bread. And it is porcelain. So just make sure you do not wash this with soap and water. Water only. Okay, so my microphone wasn't on, unfortunately. So I went ahead and I mixed 2½ cup of lukewarm water with 2¼ teaspoons of the active dry yeast. You can also use instant rising yeast. And now I'm just mixing it. And as I said earlier, this is my first time ever attempting to make fresh bread. So if I can do it, you can definitely do it as well. Hopefully it comes out edible. Okay, so I have the mixer plugged in. I do wish that the cord was a little bit longer. I did have to kind of push it into the corner. But otherwise, it's really lightweight, very pretty, easy to use. So I washed all the parts. So just so you know how to interchange the type of mixer, it's really easy. It has a spring. You just twist it and pull it out. And you push it right back in where the little openings line up. And then push it in and over like that. So again, comes right off. Push it right back up. You got to put some pressure on that spring and then turn it and it is locked. All right, so we have one. Get a little more. That's the thing with baking, which is why I usually stray away from baking because it has to be exact. But today I'm going to be brave. 2. And 5. So that's it for the flour. I'm going to mix that with the sugar, which we're going to be using 1 tablespoon of light brown sugar. So that's 1 tablespoon, not a teaspoon. So 1 tablespoon of light brown sugar. One thing I love about baking is getting powder everywhere. I like that feeling. I'm a texture kind of person. Okay, so then we're going to mix the salt, which is 2½ teaspoons of salt. So let's go back to our teaspoon. This is 1 teaspoon, 2½ teaspoons of salt. 2. Then let's go to our little half. Half a cup and a half that we did with the lukewarm water. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in. All right, here's one. So we're going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I love me some olive oil. You can eat that with everything. Okay. Using a dough hook attachment, mix on the lowest speed of your electric mixer until a dough starts to form. So we're going to actually use the dough hook. So we're going to move on over. It is a little bit loud for a tiny mixer. Again, I'm not a baker, so I don't know if it's usually this loud or if this one is just loud. do this for 7 minutes, and we're gonna add more flour as needed. Oil the mixing bowl with olive oil, just lightly. I'm gonna go in with a little paper towel and just wipe around so it's not too heavy. All right, transfer the dough to a lightly oiled bowl and spray the dough with a thin coat of cooking spray. Okay, so I'm gonna pick it up. Here goes our dough. It's nice and hefty. And then transfer it to the bowl. And then we're gonna, with a thin coat of cooking spray, wrap the bowl with plastic wrap and set aside to proof in a warm, draft-free place for 1.5 hours, or into doubled in size. So this is what it looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and spray it with some Pam spray, lightly. All right. I'm gonna put a cloth over it as well. And in my house, the warmest place I would say is probably the microwave. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the microwave for 1.5 hours. There we go. Bye bye dough, see you later. You better be double in size. It's just about 8 o'clock in the evening, and that's been 1.5 hours. And as you can see, our dough has doubled in size. I put it in the microwave. I'm gonna go ahead and unwrap it. Ooh, look at that, you guys. Looks good. Wow. So far, so good. Again, I'm feeling a little confident. I don't want to get too confident though. All right, so now we're going to punch down on the flattened rounder with the heel of your hand. All right, now I'm going to take it out and we're going to shape it on here. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit more flour. So I don't have a baker's peel, but a wooden cutting board works just as well. And then it says allow the dough to proof, loosely cover with a floured dish towel for 30 minutes. All right, so I'm going to take my dish towel and I'm going to actually sprinkle some flour on the part that's going to be touching the bread. I guess the flour is important here, like Kind of shake it. All right, I want to loosely cover it. It says loosely cover it for 30 minutes or until double in size. So I'm going to loosely cover it. And I'm going to go ahead and hopefully this fits in the microwave. While the bread is rising for 30 minutes, go ahead and put your baking stone in the oven to heat up for 30 minutes. Slash the dough lengthwise, about 1/4 inch deep. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Knife. Keeping the blade at a 45-degree angle, whatever that means. Let's see. All right, I think that's it. Okay, so I slashed it. All right, we're going to go ahead and put this on the baking stone. Going to bake the bread for 30 to 40 minutes. So it is 8:31. So we're going to check it at about 9:10. Warm. I'm have it with butter. Or even better, my favorite, so the outside is crispy. So you're supposed to be able to tap it. The inside is soft. I put butter on this one, but I also dipped it in some olive oil. Go ahead, try it with some olive oil.
Yeah.
I did it, baby.
We got bread.
I made Italian bread.
That's good.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It has the crisp on the outside and the softness on the inside.
Amazing.
Thank
Good job, man.
you, my love.